Hey guys, and welcome to the vlog. This week's video is going to be all about baby Gray. He's 7.5 months old and I thought it was the perfect time for a little update. So Gray is definitely on the move. He is scooting and crawling, commando crawling, pushing himself up, rocking back and forth. He is trying everything to get himself from A to B, and he is doing a very stellar job at it. I want to say within the space of about 4 or 5 days, it went from, I think he's pushing himself up, to, oh my gosh, he's pushing himself up and rocking back and forth, to, yep, that knee is definitely going in front. You can see his brain putting it together, to now kind of like almost falling forward, like rocking and then falling forward, but trying to go even further. And now he's just moving. He is just on the go. I'm so proud of him. He's picking it up so quickly. We ordered him some knee pads the other day from eBay, so hopefully they will come. We live in a rental, as I mentioned, so a lot of our house is tiled. So I'd like to protect his knees. So hopefully these little knee pads will help with him learning to crawl. And I mean, any week now, he's just going to be on the move. So he's going to be unstoppable. So hopefully having a little bit of protection, a little bit of extra padding for those knees, that'll be good. Overnight, I blinked and he's nearly 8 months old. Even saying that, I can't, where did the time go? I feel like it was just such a rush and such a, like, I still feel like it was just yesterday I walked in the door with him and now I have an 8-month-old. Like, too fast, way too fast. I'm getting emotional. Okay. He can also do a 360. So he's very quickly at kind of going around in a circle, very, very fast. He can definitely roll over backwards and forwards. He's blowing bubbles. He's kind of figured out his mouth and the movement of his mouth. So he's kind of like all the time. And that kind of coincides with like spitting. So he's definitely figured that one out. He can get up onto his side. He can't sit up, like go from a lying position to sitting up, but he can, if we put him in a sitting position, he won't fall back anymore. He loves his Jolly Jumper. His Jolly Jumper is probably one of the best things we bought, the most helpful thing. It gives us a good 5-10 minutes, but he also has so much fun in it. We started putting him in the Jolly Jumper from about 4 months old. And he loves jumping. He loves moving. He loves being independent. Yeah, being able to just jump in and have his own space and kind of do it himself. And he's always liked to stand on his feet, even with us. He's never wanted to be cradled like a baby. He's always wanted to jump on your legs and just bounce. And yeah, so his Jolly Jumper, great little thing to get. We actually got one that wasn't attached to your door frame, which at the time I was like, oh, this is quite annoying, but we are in a rental. So I was like, well, I'm going to have to figure it out. And we got one of the ones that came on the stand. And I thought this is going to be rickety and it's not going to be as safe. I am so in love with it. I do the washing outside. I take him outside. He's bouncing on the lawn. I can move it all around the house. It is just the perfect thing. We also don't just use it for jolly jumping. We it kind of attach toys to it as well. And he lies underneath it and kicks them with his feet. So yeah, great little toy. He enjoys going for walks in his toddler seat. He loves his toddler seat. And he always falls asleep by the time we get home. We always take the dogs for about a 3-kilometer walk. By the time we get home, he is always fast asleep. He loves playing in his porta cot and he sleeps super well in his porta cot. That thing is great. He has rusks, these kind of hard little stick things that they can kind of teethe on. So those things are really great. He started those at 6 months. He has a big sheepskin. He loves his sheepskin. He's had that since the second we brought him home. And it's not one of the little ones. It's like a giant sheepskin. And he's pretty much spent, well, he's spent every single day of his life on that sheepskin, rolling on it, drooling on it, spitting on it. We change his diapers on it. Like literally everything has happened on that rug for Gray. And I tell you, it's the best thing I ever bought. He also loves watching his toys fall, or if you pass him a toy, he'll kind of, it eventually will end its way on the floor and he'll drop it and he loves watching it drop. He has 2 little bottom teeth. They are the cutest things in the world. He is a good little sleeper. He's very, he's always been very nurtured. So he's not a baby who can just go down by himself. We've always had country music playing. We've always held him or given him a bottle. We've fed him to sleep. Yes, I know everyone's like, don't do that. But no, it works for Gray. And I say, if it works, people, just carry on doing it. You do your own thing and don't listen to other people, because every baby is different, and what works for your baby might not work for someone else's baby. What works for your friend might not work for your baby, and vice versa. So I think just do your own thing. He's very vocal with his pitch, so he's kind of figuring out his voice box. So he likes to make lots of sounds and talk, and I'm hoping any day now he'll start saying mama and dada. We're certainly trying. We're saying it all the time. He's not showing any signs that he's going to say it soon, but fingers crossed, because that is going to be super cute. He loves his pets. He has 4 pets. We have 2 dogs and 2 cats. And anytime any one of them kind of even walks in the room, he is smiling. If they come right up to him, he is giggling. He's going to be such a sweet boy. And I hope like Maddie's going to be a little animal lover. And from what it looks like he's going to be. Teething. He's definitely going through teething. As I said, he's got 2 little bottom teeth. But teething has never been something that kind of bothered him too much. Yeah, okay, he might have that occasional day where you can tell he's really grabbing at his mouth and sticking all his hands in his mouth and he's drooling a lot. But most often than not, he's never been too bad. I've always put Bonjela, especially on the teeth that are through. And make sure if you have a newborn that you get a couple of tubes of Bonjela. I swear we go through it. Don't overuse it, because you can actually make them drunk. We've never done it before, but I know that is something. So be very conscious of how much you give to them. We always make sure we give it the recommended, I think it's like 3 hours, and really massage it on his gums and everywhere, and it works a treat. He loves textures, especially this couch. Anything he can kind of make a sound with, he loves. And you'll always know in the middle of the night when he is not going to go back down to sleep, is when his fingernails have kind of found a texture. And you always hear it behind you. And you're like, oh, yeah, he's awake. He has already been overseas before. He went to New Zealand at around 4 months old. I'm a Kiwi, my partner's Australian. We live here in Melbourne.
Baby on board.
Going away. What?
Hello, Kiwi. It's exciting.
Where you from, buddy?
He's just like ignoring on the carrier. What was that?
He loved it. He slept every night through the night, didn't wake up once, and then the minute we got back to Australia, he went back to his normal routine of waking up a couple of times a night. But in New Zealand, every night, I don't know whether it was the cicadas, I don't know, but he loved it. But yeah, he really enjoyed his time in New Zealand. We went to the beach. We did so much stuff with him. He was so good on the plane too. We never had one little problem with him. He practically slept the whole entire way there. He doesn't really know anyone other than Pat and I. For the first kind of month and a half of his life, my family was over from New Zealand. And then obviously COVID happened. Well, no, COVID didn't happen then. We went to New Zealand before all the COVID stuff, so we were able to see them then. So he was still in a normal routine. And then while we were in New Zealand, that was when COVID kind of broke out, and we rushed back to Australia to get back to our pets. And from that minute on, we've been in quarantine. So for a lot of the time where he's really developing and really coming to figure things out and crawling and moving and rolling over and all that sort of stuff, he's been on his own with just Pat and myself. We're still keeping him in a little bubble. We're still taking extra precautions, and just for Gray's sake, making sure he stays safe during this time. So he is loving I've got this little toy for him, which is like a pacifier, which you can stick fruit in. Mandarin, banana, we stick fruit in it, and he just loves sucking on it, and you can hear him like he goes, like he really enjoys that. So that's been really good, and we've definitely started that this month with him. Brett's young new song, Lady, is by far his favorite song. You play the intro and he can be screaming his head off, and he will stop and just listen in a trance almost. He loves country music. The sounds that Gray listens to are like waves crashing, the ocean. He listens to rain. He listens to white noise. He listens to country music. I mean, oh my gosh, he's even fallen asleep. There was, I think, about a month and a half, maybe 2 months, where every night we had to put on Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the background. And he would always wake up if we turned that off. So I think whatever works for you, put it on and don't fight it, because sometimes you sit back and you go, should we turn this down? Should we turn this off? And then the minute you do, they wake up. So if it's working, don't touch it. He loves his food. And he's very easy to feed and very easy to entertain. He's such a happy and smiley and just, he's such a breeze of a baby. We got really, really lucky.
Yep.
Okay guys, so that is Gray's 7th month update, more 7.5 months. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow this channel and all that jazz that people know how to say really well and I don't. I will get there one day.